So hello everyone, my name is Aman Gupta and in this video we will discuss about how you can connect your Angular application with Spring Boot. So in this video we will first create the Angular project and after that we will also create the Spring Boot application and we also learn about how to call API in Angular with Spring Boot. So Spring Boot की API को कैसे कॉल कर सकते हो एप्लीकेशन को आप Angular से एंड कैसे आप डेटा फैच करके फ्रंट एंड पे दिखा सकते हो। तो इस वीडियो में अपन ये डिस्कस करने वाले हैं। सो लेट्स क्रिएट द फर्स्ट स्प्रिंग बूट एप्लीकेशन। सो क्रिएट अ न्यू प्रोजेक्ट दर स्प्रिंग स्टार्टर इनिशियलाइजर नेक्स्ट। ओके, सो द प्रोजेक्ट नेम इज एंगुलर एंगुलर स्प्रिंग डेमो। ओके, एंगुलर स्प्रिंग डेमो। So this project is just demo to connect the Angular and Spring Boot. Okay, Angular to Angular and कैसे connect कर सकते हैं। Okay, and next and the next I want the dependency. We need to add the dependency. I want the MySQL driver because I want to fetch the data from the database. Spring Data JPA because I will use the JPA. Spring Web and you can also use the Spring Dev tool. Dev tool basically कि आपको बार बार रन नहीं करना पड़ेगा प्रोग्राम, जैसे ही आप सेव करोगे then it will run automatically. Okay, then finish. Okay, so project has been created successfully. Let's so so this is my Angular Spring Boot application. So first I need to create the entity class. Like I want to fetch the employee data. So first I need to create the employee class. So you just create the package like entity. So make sure कि आपका पैकेज का नाम स्मॉल में ही हो। ओके, एंड क्लास का नाम इज ऑलवेज है ना कैपिटल, फर्स्ट लेटर इज कैपिटल। सो आई वांट द एम्प्लॉयज। ओके, सो एम्प्लॉयज क्लास। ओके, लेट्स फिनिश। Employee class has been created. So this is annotated. This class will annotate with entity. Entity. This class has a three member function. First is okay, string private string name. So in this video, name is ID in my case. Okay, so just take, and for example I will take name as a ID. You can take ID also, so don't worry about it. So I will just take the name as an ID. So private int age, private int salary. Okay, as of now के लिए मैं सैलरी को इंटीजर ही रख रहा हूँ, डबल नहीं रख रहा हूँ। Okay, so this is my three data member in this class, and for this I need to create the getter and setter. So just generate the getter and setter. Okay, so select all and generate the data. I also want to generate the constructor. So here is the constructor, all fields. So this is my constructor. This is my getter and setter. And I also want the non-parameterized constructor. Then public employees. Okay. And now I need to create the okay. I need to create the repository which fetch the data from the database using GPA. Okay. So let's right click it, new class. So first I create the project. So this is repo and employees repo. Last name is employees repo. Okay, finish it. Okay, just annotate with it repository because it's a repository class. Okay, so repository, this is my repository class, and this is not a class, this is an interface. Okay, this is an interface. Okay, you can create public it also and extend the JPA because I have added the MySQL driver or JPA dependencies, so don't worry about it. So I just need to, here in my entity classes, employees, this one, and the ID, in our case the ID is string. Okay, this is name, employees. Okay, this is our finish repository. Okay, let's create the service which call this repository method service. So just create a package service. Here is a employee service. Okay, just annotate with its service because it's my service. So we need to inform the Spring Boot this is my service class. Okay, here we need to public. It's written the list of the employees because multiple employees आएंगे. Okay, need to employees and get emp employees. Okay, get employees and it's just written the we need to auto byte the repository because I want to call the repository method to get all the records from the database. So just annotate, just auto byte private. I want the employees repo. So repo, employees repo. Okay. So employees repo and return the employees repo dot get find all. So this is a custom method of the Spring Data JPA which provide to find the all the record from this particular table. Okay, employees table from the database. So this is my service. So now at the end, I need to create the controller. Just create the class. Just create the first package controller. The name is employees controller. Okay, finish it. Just annotate with its REST controller. So it directly send the record from the front end side. Okay, so public. So just it is a get method. So we need to just the get mapping. So get mapping and the path is what is the path? Slash get emp. This is simple. And is will what it will return? It will return the list of employees. Just employees. The name is the method name is get emp, and I don't want any argument. So so here I need to auto add the service because I want to call the service method. So auto add private employee service. This is my employee service. So, and I want to call it just return. I just return the employees service from get employees. This is the method. तो यहाँ पे API आएगी get mapping and it will just return the क्योंकि इस सर्विस में आप देखो ना एम्प्लॉय सर्विस में जो गेट एम्प्लॉय मेथड है वो भी लिस्ट ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज रिटर्न कर देगा तो ये डायरेक्टली रिटर्न कर देगा दिस इज डायरेक्टली रिटर्न द और ये फाइंड ऑल मेथड कॉल होगा विच इज कस्टम मेथड है स्ट्रिंग जीपीए का आप देख सकते हो कि लिस्ट ऑफ CRUD ऑपरेशन ओके दिस इज सिंपल so what's wrong with this so just go there and save it just save it and find all employees. This is my employees class, and this is my repo class which I want to save. Okay, so here chali gayi. Okay, now at the last, before running this application, we just configure our database. So here is a here is a application.properties file where I need to mention our database configuration, all the database configuration. So before connecting this, what you need to remember कि आप ये सब चीजें आपको उसमें ऐड करनी पड़ेंगी, लाइक डेटा सोर्स का यूआरएल, विच डेटाबेस आर यू यूजिंग, लाइक आई एम इन माय केस आई एम यूजिंग द MySQL database, so I just need to use the this URL of MySQL and database schema का नाम, this is demo my schema name, and this is data source name, this is also again a schema name, and this is my username, and this is my password. Okay, and this is the driver which I want to edit, JDBC ड्राइवर, एंड दिस इज अ माई एसक्यूएल डायलेक्ट. ओके, अगर इसको आप ऐड नहीं भी करोगे तो भी आपका प्रोग्राम रन होगा ना. एंड दिस इज ऑटो डीडीएल अपडेटेड, लाइक अगर आपके में टेबल क्रिएट नहीं है तो इट विल ऑटोमेटिकली क्रिएट इन दिस, इस वाले स्कीमा में जाके टेबल सेक्शन में जाके ऑटोमेटिकली क्रिएट कर देगा. ओके, दिस इज कॉल्ड ऑटो अपडेट. ओके, सो लेट्स कॉपी this and paste it over there. So this is my URL of my database, this is my schema name, this is my username, and this is my password, and this is my SQL driver, and this is dialect, and this is auto DDL I have updated. Okay, let's run this application. So right click and run this Spring Boot application. By default it will run in 8080 port, and if you want to configure the port number then you can also configure in, आप इस पे जाके कर सकते हो configure. Okay, so 8080 is already used बता रहा है, so I need to change the port number. So come here, just change the server dot port, server dot port. I'm going 8082. Okay, so this is my server name. Now I need to run again. Okay, so it is running perfectly. Which port? Our port number is 8082. This is our port number. Okay, let's check it. API जो API अपन ने क्रिएट की है, अपन पोस्टमैन से चेक करते हैं कि डेटा आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है. ओके, ओके, सो 8082 एंड दिस इज गेट EMP. सो अगर कंट्रोलर में जाके अगर देखें तो अपनी API का नाम गेट मैपिंग है और नेम इज गेट EMP. ओके, इसको रिकॉर्ड देना चाहिए. लेट्स ओके, लेट्स हिट द रिक्वेस्ट एंड यू कैन सी द रिजल्ट. द ये वाला रिकॉर्ड इस वाले टेबल में है, मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ, एक मिनट. ओके, सो दिस इज अवर एम्प्लॉयज टेबल विच इज इनसाइड द डेमो स्कीमा. तो मैंने आपको किया था कि स्कीमा के अंदर जो टेबल है एम्प्लॉयज, उसके अंदर 4 रिकॉर्ड है, अजय, अमन, अमित एंड राहुल. तो आप देख सकते हो कि यहाँ पे यू कैन सी द रिजल्ट कि अजय, अमन एंड अमित एंड राहुल चारों का रिकॉर्ड आ चुका है. सो लेट्स कनेक्ट दिस स्प्रिंग बूट एप्लीकेशन इनटू द एंगुलर. सो let's create the Angular project first. So now I am creating a new Angular project. Okay, so what is the command to creating a Angular project? So ng new, and you need to mention the your project name. So I just name is demo, and I want the ng module included. So I am at the stand alone is equal to false. So this is basically means कि stand alone means कि ng module को include करना है. अगर आप write नहीं करते हो then it by default exclude कर देता है, उसको add नहीं करता है. So I want include the ng module. It will take some time, so don't worry about it. Okay, इट्स आस्किंग कि CSS चाहिए, SCSS चाहिए कि जो भी चाहिए, तो आई वांट द CSS. Just enter, and it's asking key did server side rendering. Yes, I want server side rendering. Now again it will installing the package, so it will take some time. जब भी आप इंस्टॉल कर रहे हो तो आपके इंटरनेट की स्पीड अच्छी होनी चाहिए, दैट्स वाई तो ये जल्दी इंस्टॉल हो जाएगा. Okay, now you can see the packages installed successfully and our project has been created. Okay, so this is our project, and the Angular project, the main file is this HTML. This is the HTML file, and it will load the by default app.root app.root component. So where is this is my app.root, and inside it you can see this is the HTML. Now I am run this application. So come inside this demo, and now ng serve. It will take some time, and this is our ts file. This is our app.ts file, and this is app.component.css. If you want to, when you write any HTML code, and if you want to styling, then you can add their styling here in the CSS folder. And what is will you see here? Yes, just say okay, say yes. Now it will build. Okay, so this is our TS, and this is our module.ts. So you can add your module. Like in this our application, I will use the HTTP client for API calling, so I need to add this HTTP module here. And this is our routing file. So for routing, this is the by default HTML file which is provided by the Angular. So by default ये सब show होगा अपन को. Okay, so don't worry about it. So you can see the application has been started on the port 4200. Okay. Okay, so this is the by default which is inside this our app.html. So I remove all this code and I add inside it. Okay, so what is this? Okay, so in this h1 tag I'm adding the okay, and you can see here is okay. Now I want to show the record which is inside my this table. So I have already created the API which has the record in the database in Spring Boot. So how can I call the Spring Boot API in the Angular? So for API calling, Angular provide the HTTP client module. So I need to include the HTTP client module here in this app.module.ts. So here HTTP client, and this is HTTP client module. Okay, and now this is come inside the ts file. Now I want कि जैसे ये पेज लोड हो, first call the API and fetch the data, then I want to show that data in our page. So पहले अपन को डेटा फेच करना है जैसे ही पेज लोड हो. तो जैसे ही पेज लोड हो उसके लिए एक फंक्शन होता है ऑन इनिट. सो उसके लिए अपन को एक इंटरफेस को इंप्लीमेंट करना पड़ता है विच इज कॉल्ड इज ऑन इनिट. ऑन इनिट, दिस इज द इंटरफेस, और इसका एक मेथड है. Is I want to override that. I need to override that method. So this is the method on it. And in this inside this method, I will call the API. So first I need to create the base URL. So base URL for API calling. So base URL. What is the base URL? So HTTP colon slash slash localhost colon 8082. Okay, because if you see our Spring Boot application, you can see here our Spring Boot application will run on the port of 8082. And what is the API? API for come inside this, and come inside the controller. Okay, come inside it. Just come inside the controller, and you can see here this is the get emp. Okay, get emp our API. So I need to call the get emp. Get emp. Okay, so this is our base URL. This is the server URL. ये basically server का URL है जिससे अपन डेटा पेज करना चाहते हैं. Then I need to what I need to do. Then I need to call the API. So just call this API. Okay, so first I need to declare here the HTTP client. So प्राइवेट कंस्ट्रक्टर के अंदर अपन को HTTP क्लाइंट को करना पड़ेगा. HTTP client, HTTP client. Okay, this is inside the constructor. Okay, so I want to use this. So in ts file this dot http client dot get, and here get request है because अपना ये get mapping था वहाँ, and here I need to pass the base URL. This is our base URL, and then I need to subscribe the channel. So I need to subscribe this API, so I will get all the data which is coming from the API. So inside the response and any type. Okay, and console dot response print कराएंगे, and if any error occur then just print confirmation message error आई है, some error occur. Okay, तो कोई error आई है. Okay, error occur. So this is the response जो आया, and I want to store this response. So just creating it public. I need to create the public because it's a data member, because I declared inside the class. Okay, so public employees and any array. I want to declare an array of type of any. So employees type on properties undefined. Okay, so I just create the type array. Okay, so because इसमें by default undefined ही रहेगा. Okay, so this is something called कि ये employees का एक array बनेगा any का जिसमें ये data store होगा. So I want to this dot employees and response. Okay, so ये response directly store हो जाएगा inside this, and I want to show this data in my HTML. So come inside it, and for this just here and h1, this is my employees data. Okay, and सबसे पहले अपन चेक कर लेते हैं कि डेटा आ रहा है कि नहीं. ओके, सो हियर अब मैंने प्रिंट करा है कि जैसे ये पेज लोड होगा देन कॉल दिस एपीआई and just fetch the all the data and print it in the console. So come here and just inspect, and this is the console, and you can see the four data is coming. Okay, Ajay, Aman, Amit, and Rahul. Okay, so I just want to print in our HTML. So how can I print it? So just use one div, and inside div just add the one condition ngif. Okay, ng if with check if the data has been come or not. So I just check the employees dot length is greater than 0. अगर मतलब 0 से greater than है, then come inside this div and print the just add the table. Okay, and just add the t head tag th, and like first is name, this is th, second is age, and fourth is salary. Okay, now I want कि t head tag बंद हो जाए, and then t body start, and inside the t body er key. This is the ng for loop that I will iterate this employees array. This is our employees array, then I will retrieve the data one by one and has print all the data. So come inside the tr tag. So let's okay, come inside this and print the one by one data. So th employees dot name, ts employees dot age, and td employees dot salary. So this is I am printing, and if any data is no, अगर उसमें employees में data नहीं आया, then I just check the ngf is equal to that employees dot length is equal to triple equal to 0. then 0 अगर उसकी है, मतलब that means कि उसमें record नहीं आया, then I just record कि no data found. Okay, s2 के अंदर I print the no data found. Let's see what will happen. So running है application तो, and what is the, yes, you can see the result. The data has been come, name salary यही same record, and this is our database. देख सकते हो कि this is same record आया. Okay, so internally it's called, how can you call the API using HTTP client in Angular? So just include in a app.module and then use in a constructor and then just call get post जो भी आप चाहते हो ना. This is all about how you can connect your Angular application with Spring Boot. Thank you.